Willie Spencer gets the Giants on the scoreboard with a 1-yard run. It's now 28-7. Dallas over the Giants. Green Bay gets a field goal by Chester Markle, a 34-yarder. They now lead Houston 10-7.
First and 10, Washington on their own 39-yard line. Grant inside Taylor to the right.
There he
Kilmer
throws.
going to the air, high and down the middle to Fugit, and he can't take it. 3 men, flag on the play. Easterling and Brown were there.
Billy hung this ball a little bit. He had Fugit behind everybody. He throws it. He gets it off. He may have been thrown off a little bit, but you see Fugit out waiting for the ball now.
Now watch Ray Brown.
Oh, Easterling comes in there.
And that's Brown on the top. So Easterling, Brown, and Brazino all in on it. And Washington first and 10 on the Atlanta 28. 3:37 to go in the third quarter. A 3-3 tie. First and 10 on the Atlanta 28. Out of the eye with Thomas the deep man. Taylor inside Grant on the right. Kilmer to Charlie Taylor at the 10-yard line. Frank Reed throws a block at him to bring him down inside the 10.
This is the best little play action, the best throw Billy's made all day. He really waits. He's under a little pressure. Makes an excellent throw. Charlie Taylor, number 42. How many times has he come across the middle and caught that one? See, Charlie gets knocked down right there. They're inside of the 10.
For Taylor, his first reception for 19 yards. It's first and goal from the 9. Mike Thomas on his feet and finally tripped up by Frank Reed at the 5-yard line after Ray Easterling made the initial hit.
That play's designed to go up the middle, Ben. He went up the middle, didn't see any daylight. That shows you the quickness of Thomas. He bounced back outside. If Reed didn't hit him there, he scored standing up.
Second and goal from the 6. Wilson Fomina comes out. Ron McCartney comes in at linebacker, and Billy Kilmer asking the crowd for quiet. Charlie Taylor wide left, Frank Grant wide right. Kilmer inside handoff to Riggins, and he gets down to about the 2.5-yard line. Down at the bottom, Greg Brazina, number 50, and right there with him, big Mike Lewis.
A little over 2 yards to go here, Ben. Wonder what Billy will try to do. Think he might go to a little roll play action here.
Well, you've been in that position long time enough, huh?
Well, I want to see Jerry Smith come in if I'm in there.
Well, we look, and we see Gene Fugit, the tight end, on the left side, with Grant inside, Taylor on the right. Going right, Kilmer looking for Mike Thomas, touchdown.
There was a little roll action we talked about. A little roll action. Again, they just overloaded that side. Billy's sprinting out that way. You see the man getting picked off Mike Thomas. Nobody covering him. He's wide open. You see Ortega trying to come. How far he's off of him. No chance for him to cover.
So Washington takes a 9-3 lead. And Mark Mosley will now try to make it 10-3 Washington. Whistle. And it's not going to count. Too much time, I believe. That's a preliminary sign.
Number 65, false start, offense.
False start against Big Dave Butts. And when you're as big as Dave is, you just can't make a mistake without everybody in the world seeing it. And they picked him off easily.
There's defensive people making those preliminary moves in there before the ball is snapped, trying to make an offensive lineman move, and they did it then.
So Mosley will have to try it again. This time the ball spotted just about on the 15. Oh, he got a lot of foot in that, and it's good. So Mark Mosley hammers it through, and with 1:36 left to go in the third quarter, Washington leading 10-3.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. We'll help you smile throughout the miles. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. So when you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC. Firing spark plugs by AC.
Maybe you're using Desenex, but to kill the fungus that causes the burning, cracking, and itching of athlete's foot, Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer. Aftate kills all major types of athlete's foot fungus and helps prevent reinfection. In fact, the medication in Aftate has been proven more effective in killing athlete's foot fungus than the medication in Desenex. Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer.
Washington going 61 yards in 4 plays, capping it off with that 2-yard pass, Kilmer to Thomas for the touchdown. And of course the big play was that penalty against Atlanta that meant 33 yards of that Washington drive. So Washington leading 10-3. Farmer all alone. Bias up 5 yards in front of him on the right, and Moriarty to the left, and it'll be Farmer taking the kickoff on his 3-yard line to the 15. And he got across the 20, and Dallas Hickman, the first man to hit him for Washington. And so Atlanta.
Watch Dallas Hickman go down this field. They call this the suicide squad. I tell you, he's the guy that's got to run into that wedge. Watch him run into the wedge. You have to pick somebody out with a lot of nerve to go in and do that. He runs into the wedge, plays off. Jeff Yates there, comes over and makes the tackle.
So here comes Atlanta. 1st and 10 on their own 22-yard line. Jenkins right and Francis left. Woody Thompson is in there now. The pass to Jenkins. He slips and falls, and Pat Fisher is right on top of him.
Washington had played that perfectly. They win a revolve that way. Fisher coming up.
Right now, down on the field, Jerry Bergman had a few strong words to say, I believe, to Pat Fisher. Remember, Fisher got into a verbal joust with Wallace Francis a few minutes ago, and that time Pat laid a little wood to Alfred Jenkins, and head linesman Jerry Bergman came over and spoke to him about it, I think. Francis left and Jenkins right. It's 2nd and 15 from the 17 of Atlanta. Hunter for Jenkins. He's got him to midfield, and Jake Scott finally brings him down at the ankles in front of the Washington bench and in Washington territory.
What a play by Scott Hunter, and Alfred Jenkins came right back to Pat Fisher. This time they doubled again. Fisher comes up, play the short zone. Excellent pattern by Jenkins. Jake Scott there is trying to slow him up a little bit, makes the tackle. Big play by Hunter and a big play by the Falcons.
This could be a very big drive for an emotional Atlanta club. That's Wilson Fomina, the Samoan youngster, son of a chieftain.
I tell you, they say Scott Hunter doesn't like to put it up. Scott Hunter puts it up, I think, as well as anybody in the league. It's what I've seen in the first 2 games.
Well, here he goes, 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. Woody Thompson, in his first carry of the day, gets across the 45, and time is running out. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score, Washington 10, Atlanta 3. And we'll now pause for a word from your local station.
Lenny loses his cool when his apartment catches fire in the riotous premiere of Busting Loose, Wednesday night on CBS.
Detroit now leading New Orleans 17-14. Greg Landry hit Charlie Sanders with a 20-yard pass to put him up. Cincinnati 28. Seattle's coming back. Now they have 20 in the 3rd quarter.
And Atlanta trying to come back.
St. Louis is up for their first time over the Bears, 13-3.
2nd and 7 from the Washington 45-yard line as we start the 4th quarter. And Hunter's going to send it up again. And it's intercepted and dropped. And it was Pat Fisher who wanted it and couldn't hold on to it.
Fisher comes up on the outside as you see Hunter going back here in the pocket. He doesn't see Pat Fisher because he sloughs off another man, comes in, has it right in his hands and drops it. Fisher's had all those emotions. You notice how he's been jawing with every receiver. He's jawing with the officials. He hasn't played during exhibition season, although the emotions have been building up in him.
Pat Fisher probably would have held on to that had he had a game or two under his belt this year. 3rd and 7 from the 45. And Hunter again going to the air. And he's going deep for Alfred Jenkins with Joe Lavender right with him.
I'll say he was safe with that one. He went very deep with it. He overthrew him about 10 yards, but it's the best place to be if you're going to miss him long.
So for Atlanta, as they tried to make a spirited comeback, they had that one big pass play to Jenkins. However, they run out of steam. Washington holds. Eddie Brown going back to a solo safety spot on his own 10-yard line. Johnny James will be punting from his own 45. 10-3 Washington. 14:50 left in the game. James hangs it, and Brownie is settling underneath it. Takes it at the 6.
Look out. Uh-oh,
To
I
the
saw
15.
And I see a flag.
A flag back on the 10-yard line, and limping a little bit is Danny Buggs. We'll see it's a clip.
Seems like you never miss a punt without a clip, doesn't it? Every time something happens like that.
If we could see, I think Danny Buggs was the man clipped, and we'll see who the clipper was. Buggs was the clippee.
He could have been the clipper.
Personal foul, number 88 on the run back. First down.
They got him for clipping.
So Danny Buggs is guilty of the clip and hurt himself as well. 1st and 10 on the 4 for Washington. They're leading 10-3.
I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they're built tough. Right, Daddy?
Right, and I bought a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
Yep, and I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
That's right, yeah. My daddy came to Texas in a covered wagon. I had to learn about Fords on my own. I'm a smart old bird, ain't I?
Of all Ford trucks registered over the last 12 years, 93 out of 100 are still on the job.
Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Is it a fling or the real thing? Julie falls for an older man on the season premiere of One Day at a Time, Tuesday following MASH.
In the American League East, the Yankees leading Toronto 8-0 in the 5th inning. The Yankees trying to close the door in that division with Baltimore and Boston hanging tough. Talking about hanging tough, Washington leading 10-3. 1st and 10 on their own 4-yard line. And it'll be Mike Thomas, and he is stopped at a standstill right at the 4-yard line.
Did he get hit by Jeff Merrill? Oh, you know, we were talking during the break then about the Lehman Bennett influence over this Atlanta Falcon team as we look at the penalties there. And that is, we've seen them play 7 quarters now, and they have yet to fumble or they have yet to have an interception. Mistake-free ball club, and they're in the ball game.
Very much so, as Washington has it 2nd and 9 from their 5. Grant right and Taylor left. And here comes Mike Thomas, and he can't get anywhere. Riggins tried to lead the way for him, but that stubborn Atlanta forward wall held on. McCartney and Bailey, Merrow and Ortega.
John Riggins coming off the field must have an equipment problem. Bob Brunet going in to relieve him.
So it is 3rd and 7. Washington has moved the ball out to their own 7-yard line, so they are really inching it along here.
At 8.
Here comes Mike Thomas. Nowhere. Again, there are white shirts everywhere. Nugent had pulled and tried to throw. but McCartney came right in and knifed across for the tackle, and then Brown came up from the strong safety to hit him along with Brezina.
Good defense by the Falcons, then shutting down the run of the Redskins back deep in their territory. They're on the 9-yard line. He's going to have to kick it out of the end zone. Kilmer not wanting to put it up and risk an interception or bobbled ball.
Standing deep right now is Roland Lawrence. He has Billy Reichman and Rick Bias in front of him. And a high punt, and there's not much Lawrence can do but take it anyway. I thought he'd fair catch it. And he is dumped as he got across the 45-yard line. That was somewhat of a gutsy reception.
And guess what's on the field? That familiar yellow flag. Dallas is up with 1:02 left in the first half.
Clip.
You're looking at the clip call. They're up 31-7 now over New York.
So the punt plus the clip really gives Washington some breathing room, and they'll spot the ball on the Atlanta 42-yard line.
Personal foul, clipping, number 28 on the run back. First down.
That's Frank Reed, who was trying to help Roland Lawrence. Just as he threw his block, he had a bad angle.
You said, too, breathing room. It takes him out of Washington territory.
1st and 10 for Atlanta on the Falcon 42-yard line. And Woody Thompson in there again with Haskell Standback. Hunter fakes and then goes deep down the left side. No good. Intended for Wallace Francis with Kenny Houston right there with him.
Oh, what a pad, and Wallace Francis ran then. They ran a little hook, and then he took off. Like I call a hook and go, trying to get Pat Fisher to come up and bite on it. Kenny Houston was protecting him deep.
So Scott Hunter is 10 for 20, 161 yards. A reminder, our CBS Sports Spectacular, the world's strongest men competition, the Cup, and the Super Bowl of Motocross, all coming up Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 2nd and 10 from the Atlanta 42. Here comes Woody Thompson. And he got it across the 45-yard line, and that's it.
Like Claude Humphreys got a little back problem there. He's talking with the doctor and stretching it out a little bit. It's like he's in a little pain. First time I've ever seen an official do what he did on that last play, Vin. He took his handkerchief out, made the motion like he was going to throw it, stuck it right back in his pocket, and said, no, he didn't. He was going to call clipping.
3rd and 6 on the 46. Well, Hunter's really hungry in the air, and he releases to Standback, to the 45, to the 40, 35, 30, 25. Eddie Brown drives him out of bounds inside the 20 to the Washington 18-yard line. Haskell Standback.
That's the second time they've run this play, and they've been successful with it both times. There's Standback right at the top of your screen. A little short pass. Washington very deep, and a good piece of running and some good downfield blocking by a hustling Atlanta team. Eddie Brown kicks him out of bounds. Big play by Atlanta.
37 yards on that pass play from Scott Hunter to Haskell Standback. 1st and 10 Atlanta on the Washington 18-yard line. Francis left and Jenkins right. Haskell Standback. And he gets down to the 15. Boy, no rest for the weary. Mike Curtis making the hit. There you see some of the defensive boys. Ralph Ortega, number 55. He was born in Cuba, playing for the Atlanta Falcons. Young defensive unit for Atlanta doing a great job, and now the offense has come to life again.
Boy, that Ortega boy, he really has some big shoes to fill down there, doesn't he?
Yeah, Tommy Novus on the sidelines rooting him on.
Yeah, he certainly is.
2nd and 7 from the 15. Francis in motion, picked up by Pat Fisher. Woody Thompson inside down to the 10. Woody Thompson taking over for Monroe Ely. Thompson had what they call a modern day injury. He had an astro toe. So did Frank Reed, a defensive cornerback. Apparently,
what was that again?
An astro-toe. As you cut on AstroTurf, evidently, you begin to bruise the inside of one toe, your push-off, and both he and Frank Reed had what they call astro-toes.
Middle linebacker Harold McClinton down. I've never heard of that injury. Harold's kind of rolling on the ground. Looks like he got his bell rung. Let's hope it's nothing serious. I tell you, the more, and we've seen him twice in a week now, but every time you see him play, you really get impressed with this Atlanta Falcon team.
And they're coming, trying to catch Washington.
Inside this new Firestone radial tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it. 7, 2, 1. The new steel-belted radial 721. Now, from Firestone.
The Quintrix 2-color picture tube from Panasonic brings you a very lifelike picture. Because Quintrix 2 is our inline picture tube with an extra pre-focus lens that concentrates and focuses the electron beam to bring you Panasonic's sharpest picture ever. So lifelike, you may even feel you're part of the picture. Quintrix 2, one more reason Panasonic is just slightly ahead of our time.
If you want to see what happened to Harold McClinton, number 48, 6'1", 228, that's what happened. You see him hitting, he got that big right leg of Woody Thompson, and he got his bell rung, and he's walked off the field under his own power. Just got shaken up a little bit. He's
Third
okay.
and 3 for Atlanta on the Washington 11, a big play. Fake to stand back, and a little flip into the corner. No good. Wallace Francis made the reception, but he was long out of the end zone. Pat Fisher was there with him.
He has to throw this off balance, a little play action again. I don't understand why they're picking on the toughest guy out there, and Pat Fisher. You see Fisher right with him. The ball a little outside, even if he caught it, and he did, he's out of bounds.
Couldn't get the feet down. Of course, the big thing, Pat Fisher, since this is his first game, that would be the only reason why he would be a weak spot.
That might be the reason they're going to test him, but he's met the challenge each time.
Mickemeyer will try a 27-yard field goal, and it is good. However, Atlanta is not good enough. It is Washington 10, Atlanta 6, with a lot of football left. 10 minutes and 25 seconds left to go, and Mickemeyer evidently with his head still screwed on properly, although for a moment there, remember, on the blocked field goal, it looked like Kenny Houston was going to knock it off his shoulders.
He tried to dislodge it, didn't he?
He sure did. So 4 points difference with 10:25 left to go, and a reminder next week, the NFL on CBS. These games, the Giants in Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, New Orleans, Chicago, Tampa Bay, Dallas, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. And then when the dust settles, the second game of the doubleheader, St. Louis versus Washington. All upcoming, the CBS, presenting the NFL next Sunday.
Those two teams won't be very sky high, will they? Oh. Remember the game we did out there on the controversial call?
Oh, and how, the pass in the end zone to Melgray.
Yes.
Danny Buggs, Eddie Brown, and Bob Brunet waiting for Nick Mickemeyer to kick deep. 10:25 left to go in the game. Washington 10, Atlanta 6. And Mickemeyer hits a knuckleball down the middle, and it is picked up and brought across the 30 and out to the 35-yard line.
Rusty Tillman.
Middle man on that front four. Rusty got his hands on the leather.
Always wanted to be a running back. Look at him. He's down on the ground. You think he's going to lateral this? No way. I want to run that thing. He's used to people going down taking shots at people. He found out what it was like. He did a complete somersault.
He's captain of the special teams, and he's playing in his 72nd consecutive game. But now Washington, 1st and 10 on their own 36. Kilmer, pay action fake to Riggins. Down the left side to Taylor. No good. Right there was Frank Reed.
A little high with that pass. Again, he got away from Billy a little bit, and he overthrew Charlie. Charlie had run a little turn-in pattern. Good coverage in the secondary. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to play. A lot of time left. You can see what kind of confidence Lehman Bennett has in his defense. Look at this American League East score. New York 9 now, Toronto nothing. America. Baltimore 3-0. And Boston 7-2 over Detroit.
2nd and 10 from the 36 of Washington. Kilmer pitching back to Thomas. Look out in the open. He's still going. Roland Lawrence is there to grab him by the jersey. He fumbled.
Why did he fumble the ball? He looked like he was trying to lateral.
And it's a Washington ball recovery.
Look at this thing. He ran out of gas a little bit. That's because Mike hasn't been, his conditioning can't be what it should be. He breaks through. You see that quickness, the cut back against the grain. He frees himself, and now he's gone, but he just doesn't have any burst left to go. He looks like he's just trying to lateral it out here as he's going down. I don't know. Looked like Roland Lawrence. Oh, and he had a shot at the football. He just couldn't come up with it.
Roland Lawrence.
Look at this.
Offense, flipping, 2nd down.
Lenny Hawes.
Leonard from Jessup, Georgia. Doesn't he know better?
So, a clip by your buddy, and Washington losing that long gainer. Mike Thomas almost coming out of his jersey. There's the clip.
Well, that's not Leonard. I think not Leonard. I think it's Frank Grant.
Right.
46.
Okay.
We take it back, Leonard. You weren't clipping.
Frank Grant clipping. 2nd and 7 from the 39 of Washington. Oh, Calvin Hill. Across the 50, Ray Brown finally brought him down, and the big man was really on the move.
Look at this quick opening. You see the block that Haas gets on Famina. There's an excellent block by Nugent on Pennywell, and you see the cavity as he breaks through. 2 good blocks then.
And now the Atlanta Defensive Club trying to regroup. They were saved once from a long gainer. Now suddenly Washington has the ball in Atlanta territory. 1st and 10 on the Falcon 48. 9:22 left to go in the game. 10-6 Washington. Kilmer going left, and he's got Taylor just inside the 40. To about the Washington 39. Charlie Taylor making a big reception to keep the drive alive.
Washington offense getting sparked up a little bit here, coming back. A couple of good throws. And the big run, of course, set back by that penalty call, but they're down in Atlanta territory.
Picked up 8, so it's 2nd and 2 from the Atlanta 40. Grant wide right, Taylor wide left. Kilmer, Taylor all alone again, and Frank Reed knocks him out of bounds, but I guess he's playing him pretty loose over there on the side.
He's playing him loose, and look, make the defense stop at the same play exactly, going out, just throwing a little sideline pattern. Billy moving a little bit in the pocket. You notice wide open again, Taylor just out. Knocked out of bounds by Reed. Reed's going to have to play him a little tighter. 19 penalties.
1st and 10 from the Atlanta 28-yard line. Grant right, Taylor left again. Kilmer going right to Fugit, the tight end. Ray Brown finally brings him down, but he didn't get to him until he got well down to about the 15-yard line.
It's going to go off for naught. You see Billy, good call here. The same kind of pass to the other side, and hits Fugit for a big play, but it's going to be brought back because of their holding. Let's see if we get a holding call here.
Number 74, offensive holding, 1st down and 20.
George is holding on the wrong plays today.
George
he held
Stark
on the touchdown, now he holds on another big play.
The fellow who has covered the most ground with the football today is referee Gene Barth. It is now 1st and 21. The ball on the Atlanta 39-yard line.
That last play was a good play by Kilmer because Atlanta had rolled up the other way to try to help Frank Reed on Charlie Taylor, and he just went away from it.
Under a rush, he got it away, and it's intended for Fugit, intercepted by Ray Brown at the 15 to the 20-yard line, and Ray Brown comes up with the interception. John Riggins made the tackle.
Kilmer couldn't quite watch the rush put on him right here. Coming in just as he gets ready to let it go. Wilson Firmino right on him. I don't know if it affected his throw. He makes a pretty good throw here. It would have, I think he has Fugit if Brown just makes an excellent play here and comes up with the first interception and the first turnover of the day.
They're scrambling with 8:49 to go. 10-6, Washington.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone. You need Prestone.
Europe's most successful new car in history comes to America. Introducing Fiesta, now imported from Germany by Ford. Fiesta, 0 to 50 in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road-gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive and excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, Europe's most successful new car in history. Test drive one at your authorized Ford dealer now.
Well, we've had 20 penalties in the ball game. Ray Brown's interception gives Atlanta possession. 1st and 10 on the Falcon 20-yard line. Woody Thompson in there with Haskell Standback. Jenkins left, Francis right, and it's Standback hit by Dave Butts, slid off the tackle and got back to the line of scrimmage.
Kilmer now 11 for 20, 124 yards, 1 interception. And the guy they say doesn't like to put it up is 11 out of 22, Scott Hunter, for 197 yards.
They take Haskell Standback out for a breather. Mike Esposito comes in to replace him. 8:25 to go in the game. 10-6 Washington, and Scott Hunter trying to move his ball club 80 yards. He's going to try and do it in the air. A little release to Woody Thompson, who gets to the 20, to the 25. Before knocked down, he was hit by Lavender and Scott. He rolled, so he's very close to the first down. That's Haskell Standback, who was shaken up. It looked like a left hand. I believe he had broken his left wrist earlier this year.
You can see that it is wrapped. Not sure that's his hand that's bothering him right now. He's kind of stretching out a little bit. Tell you, when you get knocked around all afternoon, everything hurts. It's hard to pinpoint it.
3rd and about 1, a big play, and it doesn't look like they made it. It looked like the veteran Washington front line held.
That's twice they've done that.
Remember earlier, Atlanta had a 3rd and goal. Or not 3rd and goal, he had a 3rd and 3, couldn't do it and had to settle for the field goal. Now they have a 3rd and less than 1, and they're going to have to punt.
The Jets have come back against the Colts. It's now 20-12. 2:27 left.
Johnny James punting to Eddie Brown on his own 32-yard line. High snap, and James kicks it even higher. And Brownie fair catches. So they'll put the ball in play on the 37. A reminder, the CBS Sports Spectacular, the world's strongest men competition. Then the Cup, followed by the Super Bowl of motocross. That's all on the CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Pretty good field position here for Washington. 37-yard line. The interception didn't hurt him, it just cost him some points. Lions are leading the Saints now 23-16. 11:48 left in the game.
1st and 10 Washington on their own 37. Kilmer at the controls. Play action fake to Riggins, and he goes down the left side to Fugit all alone to the 20 and knocked out of bounds by Ray Easterling inside the 20-yard line. Big Gene Fugit. 43-yard pass play.
A big mistake. Again, a first down pass. Nobody picked up Gene Fugit. Wide open. Look, no one around him. Blew the coverage in the secondary. Fugit just running free down the sidelines. Big play for Washington.
All Easterling could do was hope to throw a block at him and get the big guy out of bounds. He stepped out at the 19. Gene Fugit, 6'4", 226, out of Amherst. So it's 1st and 10, Washington on the Atlanta 19-yard line. 6:45 left to go in the game. Kilmer over the middle, intercepted by Ortega. And Ortega goes down at the 10-yard line. Ralph Ortega, the middle linebacker, number 55, was there to handle it. And the second interception on 2 Washington scoring drives.
Bad choice by Billy here. He reloads. He wants to go to Fugit. He can't. Throws it back against the grain. Very dangerous play. And you see what happens. That's why you don't like to throw back against the grain, because you can't see everybody. Ortega makes a great play.
So Atlanta had Ray Brown intercept and take over 1st and 10 on their 20. Now has Ortega intercept. They take over 1st and 10 on their 11. 6:37 left to go in the game. Woody Thompson on a play-action fake. Hunter deep down the middle. No good. In fact, the closest man was Kenny Houston. The pass was intended to Wallace Francis, and there is Ralph Ortega, who just made that clutch interception. And we were talking about him filling Tommy Nova's shoes. Well, he certainly came up with a Nova's play under pressure.
Big play, that last play, Vin, by Joe Lavender. He got in front of Jenkins and wouldn't let him deep. Took him off his pattern. Hunter expected him to be long, laid it up, but Joe was just in front of him, and he couldn't run down the field.
2nd and 10 from the Atlanta 11, 6:30 to go in the game. Washington 10, Atlanta 6. Hunter over the middle, no good. Intended for Jenkins. Jake Scott right there with him. I tell you, there have been 20 penalties in the game, and on every play, you're looking for that flag.
And don't we see one on the ground?
Yes, back on the 10-yard line.
The type of patterns that Atlanta throws, the corner patterns, the go pattern, they're safe throws because you can. Let's pick up the call.
Offensive holding, number 66, refused, 3rd down.
They finally got the big boy again, Warren Bryant. We have a final score. The Baltimore Colts 20, the New York Jets 12.
So Washington declines the penalty, takes the down away from Atlanta. 3rd and 10 on the Atlanta 11. And Scott Hunter now, with 6:26 to go, has to come up with a big play to maintain possession of the football. Under a rush, fumbled, but he recovered it. Bill Brundage hit it and almost recovered it, number 77. But Hunter just did get down on top of the leather.
Would you watch this? Look how close this comes to being Washington's ball. Hunter goes back up through the pocket with the rush by Talbot. And you see Brundage. Now watch him. He loses the ball. Brundage has a shot at it, gets a hand on it. Scott Hunter recovers on the 1-yard line.
And look at this. With his back to the wall, Johnny James has to almost buy a ticket to stay in the park, and he got it away. Eddie Brown backpedaling across the 50 to his own 45. And out he goes. Ray Easterling hit him after Paul Reisig, number 53, just missed him on the 45. That's a 53-yard punt for Johnny James. Don't forget, next week, the doubleheader on CBS. The Giants, Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, New Orleans, Chicago, Tampa Bay, Dallas, San Francisco, and Los Angeles. And then the second game of the doubleheader, St. Louis versus Washington next Sunday.
Big punt by James.
Well, Atlanta trying desperately to come up with another interception and get the ball back with 5:45 left to go. 1st and 10 Washington on their own 47. Kilman, a play action fake to Riggins. Down the middle. Broken up by Easterling, intended for Charlie Taylor, and a flag on the play.
Oh, that was close. That was a close one. Oh, defense.
Personal foul against Atlanta, evidently, which would be the 21st penalty in the game, I believe. 21. In fact, one was declined, so this would be 22.
That's right. This could be rough in the pass. I'm not sure, but Kilmer really took a shot after he threw the ball.
Personal foul, defense, number 87, first down.
Had
Claude.
to be. Claude.
Claude.
8:02 left in the third period. Jim Bocking kicked a 41-yard field goal. The Cardinals are up now 16-3 over the Bears.
And remember, one penalty refused. So we have really been getting in licks here with Washington holding on to a 10-6 lead. 5:40 left to go in the game. 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 38. Mike Thomas. Jim Bailey almost had Thomas, but he went by like an echo. So Mike Thomas, who was even doubtful to play because George Allen was saying he really was still in spring training, that his leg injury had slowed him up. Didn't know whether he was going to play much today, and boy, play he has.
He certainly has. In 17 carries, he has 81 yards so far.
2nd and 9 on the Atlanta 37. Another play action fake to Riggins, and Billy unloads for Frank Grant, missed him by 10 yards. Roland Lawrence down there, and the Wolves are on Kilmer, particularly because of the last 2 interceptions by Ray Brown and Ralph Ortega. In fact, at one stage, the chant went up, "We want Joe." But of course, that's an old song that Kilmer has danced to before.
That inspires him to play. He likes that. Now, there's a natural tendency. He's made a couple of bad throws just with a touch on the ball. There's a natural tendency to come back and to overthrow that next receiver. And that's what he did then. He wasn't about to underthrow him.
3rd and 9 from the Atlanta 37. Grant is inside Taylor to slot right. Billy down the middle, off the fingertips of Gene Fugit. A little high and to his right, but there is another flag on the play. And it's going to go against Washington, a holding call, I believe.
Gee. That George Stark against, I'll tell you, I can't blame him. But when you got to block Claude Humphrey all day, you got to do something. They should let you use your hands. He's too tough to try to block.
Offensive holding, number 74, refused, 4th down.
That's exactly who it was. Holding again. Well, that's an all-day job to try to block Claude Humphrey.
So Mike Bragg will come in, and with 4 minutes and 57 seconds left, Atlanta has a chance to get the football again. Roland Lawrence, one of 14 children, goes back on the 10-yard line, and Mike Bragg, who has had 1 punt clocked in 5 years, ready to punt from midfield. Angles it in the corner. Lawrence watching as it hits, and did it go out in the coffin corner? I believe it did. Mike Bragg, who bottled up Atlanta with a 29-yard punt and put Atlanta on the 7-yard line, has put one out inside the 5. Bragg, a 10-year man out of Richmond.
I think I'm going to have to give Bragg my game ball.
What a punt, and under what pressure. With 4:50 to go, they put the ball on the Atlanta 2-yard line. So all Scott Hunter has to do is go 98. And in a hurry.
4:50 left. He's got time, but needs a lot of big plays.
Jenkins and Francis on the left side. Backs are really split. Hunter rolling and looking, throws over the head of Woody Thompson, incomplete.
Do you realize Thompson got behind everybody? If he catches that and can stay in bounds, he may still be running.
So Scott Hunter plays one trump. Now it's 2nd and 10 from the 2. Mike Bragg bottling up Atlanta with that great punt.
That didn't look like a conservative Lehman Bennett call on your 2-yard line.
Tell you, this young Atlanta ball club feeling its way along for a while, but they've got to believe now that they belong.
They do, Vin, you know, because with 4:40 left in the ball game, they're in the ball game, and that's what Lehman Bennett wants.
Washington 10, Atlanta 6. 2nd and 10 from the 2. Going up with it again. Barely got it away, and here's Alfred Jenkins. And he goes out of bounds somewhere just shy of the 45, and Joe Lavender got killed by Wallace Francis.
Boy, you just have to admire what Scott Hunter does every time he goes back deep in his end zone here. A lot of pressure to make a perfect throw here, and a perfect throw he does with people wrapped around him. And look at it, right on the button to Alfred Jenkins. Jake Scott in pursuit. Big play by Atlanta. You just missed quite a lick that Joe Lavender took then by Wallace Francis.
Whew, did he ever. All right, 1st and 10 on the Atlanta 44. That's a 42-yard pass play. 4:35 to go in the game. Francis in motion to the right. Woody Thompson inside and gets just about to midfield. Oh, is it rough going down there now? Got it to the Washington 49.
Atlanta's at midfield, and as a matter of fact, they're in Washington territory on the 49, and they've come from their own 2.
Scott Hunter has passed for 247 yards and no touchdown. And we have 4 minutes left to go.
And doesn't like to put it up.
Right. 2nd and 3 from the Washington 49. Woody Thompson. And he is just about inches away, I believe. It depends on where they spot the ball. It's that close. He did not appear to make it. So it'll be 3rd down. 3rd and a couple of inches. There have been 2 big 3rd down plays, and Atlanta has been unable to cash him in. And there is Steve Bartkowski with the chart, doing the best he can, sweating things out on the sideline with Fulton Kuykendall. Here's a big one now, 3rd and inches from the Washington 46. Woody Thompson, he's got it, and then some. Harold McClinton, number 53, had him by the ankles, but Big Woody picked up the 1st down at the 41-yard line of Washington. 1st and 10, 3 minutes and 4 seconds to go.
Dallas in the 3rd period leading the Giants 31-14. A 68-yard punt return by Bob Hammond.
1st and 10 on the Washington 41, 2:49 to go.
With 7:08 left in the game, the Lions are up 23-19.
Look out for Dusick. He unloads and throws it away. Brad Dusick on a dog, and Hunter unable to get it off to anyone, so he threw it about 5 yards over the head of Woody Thompson, but he was just trying to get out of Brad Dusick's way.
He did. He saved a big loss then by throwing the ball away. You know, I'd like to find out whoever started that rumor about Scott Hunter not liking to put it up, because he looks like he enjoys throwing that football.
Well, his career passing records would indicate that he doesn't like to throw that much, but against Washington in his past, this would be his finest hour, 247 yards. 2nd and 10 from the Washington 41. Francis in motion left. A little flip to Woody Thompson, and Eddie Brown knocks him out of bounds at the 35-yard line, so they still have 4 yards to go to get a 1st down. In fact, they mark it inside to the 34, so it is 3rd and 3.
And it's going down to the wire, isn't it?
And a field goal won't help.
2:35 left. They need a touchdown. 3rd and 3 again. Big call here for Scott Hunter.
Francis wide right, Jenkins left. The running backs are Thompson and Stanback. Woody Thompson trips, but it's a question again of where they spot the ball. Had he stayed on his feet a fraction of a second longer, he would have made it without a doubt. He tripped and fell forward. Down at the bottom, Mike Curtis.
Looks like it's pretty close. It's close enough to measure.
Very close.
Looks like they're going to measure. And now I think they're going to call it fourth down again.
Looks that way.
Looks like it's about a half a yard short.
Another tight end coming in to help out, Greg McCrary. And so here it is for Atlanta. I guess you could say it's on the line right now. 2:20 to go. 10-6 Washington. 4th and inches. Francis on a wing outside Mitchell. McCrary, the other tight end. Stanback and Thompson, the running backs. It will be Hunter on a keeper. He's got it. First down, Atlanta. If there are no penalty flags, it's a first down, and it is. Scott Hunter keeping the ball with 2 minutes left to go. Goes for the first down. Well, we got a dandy. Washington 10, Atlanta 6. Ooh, don't go away.
We have assembled here a most congenial group, brought together by their love for a truly great beer. Right, group?
Right.
It's light beer from Miller. Right, group?
Right.
They think the best thing about it is it's less filling. It has 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. Right, group?
Right. Wrong.
The best thing about it, it tastes great. No, Horning, it's less filling.
Says who?
Says me.
Hey, take it from me. It tastes great.
Who are you?
You won't think this fight is no joke when you come to and your nose is broke.
No wonder you don't get no respect.
I tell you, I don't deserve no respect.
You still don't know nothing about beer.
I thought I threw you out of this bar last year. I feel very strongly both ways. I never argue.
Hi, Mickey.
Hi, doll.
What's a nice guy like you doing in a fight like this?
Waiting for you, doll.
Waiting for us.
I still don't know why they wanted me to do this commercial.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
Interesting note passed along by Dr. Bob Woods. Atlanta has run off 74 offensive plays to Washington's 52. The young Falcons are getting to be very big birds.
They're holding on to that football with no mistake.
Here they come, 1st and 10 on the Washington 30. 2 minutes left to go, 10-6 Skins. Hunter, quick over the middle to Jim Mitchell. The tight end is inside the 20. And I think that's the first time they have thrown to Mitchell today. And it's good to get it inside the 20, first down. 1:53, and Atlanta trying to get off the ground and fly away with it.
You know, I got a baseball score here that they got one less run than we have points. The Yankees in the bottom of the 9th are leading Toronto 15-0. 15-0.
Toronto could have gone to the beach and lost 9-0. Lehman Bennett not thinking about losing. Talking to Scott Hunter right now, very calmly and deliberately. A 39-year-old coach talking to his quarterback, who is 29. And there you can see plenty of timeouts remaining, so each side has several trump cards. And Bennett talking to Hunter. It is 1st and 10. The ball is on the Washington 17. The first time they have gone to Jim Mitchell today, and it paid off for the clutch first down. After Hunter on a keeper was able to keep the drive alive. On a 4th and inches, Hunter kept it to keep Atlanta in possession.
Well, you really have to admire Scott Hunter and the job he's done in these first 2 games. Last year, when Steve Bartkowski got hurt, he came in and won 3 out of the 4 games he started. Some big wins, too. 1 over Dallas. And now coming in here today, managing his football team, making no mistakes. There are his stats right there. 15 for 30, 267 yards. Quite an afternoon. I would like to have him. If I were a coach, you'd like to have a man like that on your football team.
You know, when he was at Alabama, he played in 4 bowls. He's accustomed to pressure. 1:53 to go. 1st and 10 on the Washington 17. Jenkins right and Francis left. Stanback can't get a block off. Haskell Stanback was unable to pick up the blitz of Mike Curtis. and you can see Hunter pay the bill for it.
The big play. Hunter wasn't expecting it. Stand back, trying to come over, and Mike Curtis makes a big play for the Redskin defense.
It's ironic. Atlanta, that won last week because of the blitz, is suddenly punished by the blitz of Mike Curtis, and from the 17, they lose 13 yards back to almost the 30-yard line.
I don't think that they anticipated the Redskins blitzing then, because they certainly got caught by the surprise.
Here comes Brundage, didn't get him. Hunter throwing a left.